Today I'm going to persuade you to incorporate meatless Mondays into your weekly diet. My name is Josh Moore and I'm a registered nurse who has a special interest on the impact that diet has on our health. Now for all you die-hard carnivores out there, give me a chance here. I grew up on a farm, I'm a hunter, I butchered my own meat, I enjoy meat as much as the next guy. But by the end of this speech I'm going to give you some new insight, a new healthier perspective on daily meat consumption. As reported by the United States Department of Agriculture, the 2011 recommended daily intake from the protein group was 5 to 6 ounces. Um, this includes beans, nuts, and legumes as well as meat. Um, Allison Aubrey writes of a study that shows the average Americans now are consuming about 6 to 8 ounces of meat a day, um, and this does not include the beans or the nuts and legumes. This is strictly meat and or poultry. Um, so that fact alone uh, is kind of deceiving. If you, how, I want to ask you, how much protein do you believe you eat in a day, or how much meat do you eat in a day? To help visualize, you can take a deck of cards and visualize this as a serving of meat equal to 4 ounces. Now, a deck of cards is not too awful big. That's a small chicken breast or a large hamburger. I would assume it is safe to say that many of us are eating this much or more every meal of meat, um, which would equal at least 12 ounces of meat consumption within a day. Now that protein, again, is not incorporated into the beans that we may be consuming or the nuts. So on average, you know, Americans are not having a problem meeting their daily requirements of protein. With this conversation often comes the topic of health. Many people are concerned that they need to consume protein on a daily basis to maintain their health, or which is true. We do need protein in our diets, but not necessarily meat proteins, and certainly not on a daily basis. Um, Nix explains in her textbook that though non-animal sources of protein are called incomplete proteins, or they don't have the 12 essential amino acids, it is quite possible to get all the amino acids needed by just simply eating a variety of your beans, your nuts, your legumes, and your vegetables. Um, and together, this variety can provide more than enough of the essential amino acids to meet our requirements. Um, I mean, it's well documented. There's many people, there's entire cultures that are surviving meat without meat in their diets at all. Many cultures just don't have the meat to supplement, and others choose for religious reasons not to consume meat, and they're doing perfectly well, perfectly healthy. Um, on the kind of the same line of thinking as health, a lot of people have the belief that you need to consume meat to build muscle mass. So I use this example at times. Try to think of some of the larger land animals that we have on Earth today, the elephant or the buffalo or even the blue whale, these huge, massive creatures that are just abound with strength. I mean, they don't consume meat at all. They maintain their strength and their muscle mass, and they meet their protein needs strictly on a plant-based diet. Just something to think about. I find that interesting. There's even bodybuilders out there today that are vegetarians. So I just want to dispel that belief that to build muscle mass you need to consume meat. Now conversely, the negative health impacts of meat consumption are well documented. Consumption of meat has been linked to several chronic health problems, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, strokes, just to name a few. And with meat consumption comes fat and cholesterol. Now, I know that this can vary with the different types of meat or even the different cuts of meat, but cholesterol and fat is inherently in animal flesh. Even with boneless, skinless chicken breast, you still have bad cholesterol and you still have fat. And ultimately that ends up in our bloodstream. Now, Alexandria Caspro, a registered dietitian and blogger for Around the Plate, writes that eliminating meat from your plate even just one day a week can have great health benefits for you. This break in fat consumption, or the LDL, the bad cholesterol, this break that you're giving your body allows the body to normalize that ratio of bad cholesterol and good cholesterol, and ultimately flushing out some of those toxins that are produced as well. In addition to that study, a recent study by Ann Pan in the Department of Nutrition at Harvard came to the conclusion that by eating just one portion of processed meat, 2 slices of bacon or a hot dog, a single portion of processed meat a day can increase your risk of death by up to 20%. And being a healthcare provider, that's just mind-blowing to me that a lot of people, they're consuming multiple portions of processed meat a day. I can't imagine what the percentages must be for those who not only eat meat on a daily basis, but are also eating these processed meats on a daily basis, and oftentimes 2 or 3 times a day. In addition to being beneficial to your health and passing on meat once a day will also have a positive impact on the environment. Just eliminating the resources needed to produce, packaging, and deliver meat to your local grocery store. It's pretty significant. It may seem insignificant to do this on a 1 day a week basis, but if you think about it in terms of recycling, just imagine if everybody did it, the positive impact it could have. In addition to that, this change in diet could also be helpful for the children. All you parents out there, just teaching your children this new healthier eating habit will not only benefit them now, but long term as well. Childhood obesity is on the rise. The prevalence of early onset of heart and vascular diseases in children today is becoming an epidemic. The hospitals are seeing a huge influx of children coming in with these problems that we typically are used to seeing from the older adults. So to recap what we've talked about today, by eliminating meat from your diet cannot have a negative impact on your health. By incorporating meatless Mondays into your weekly routine, you're allowing your body to balance the good and bad cholesterols, and you're decreasing your risk of developing chronic disease. By doing so, you're teaching your children healthy eating habits, and you're minimizing the effects that meat consumption has on our environment. Just a little food for thought. Thank you.